What is up, everyone? I just want to do a quick little video real fast. The devs over at THQNordic, the developers of Biomutant, they updated the game with patch 1.4. It is currently out on the PC. It is not out on the consoles yet, but look forward to it. It should be coming out soon. It seems like they got to go through some things before they can launch, but they'll update when they do that. However, the two things that they did specifically for PC was they fixed crashes for AMD-based CPUs with built-in graphics, and then they fixed crashes when devices info contains invalid display data on AMD-based CPUs. So if you were playing on an AMD system and you couldn't get the game up, you're in luck. You should be able to play it now and enjoy the fun. There's so much to this game. They're also improving the tutorial area. A big gripe with the game for me, myself, was that the tutorial area, it is kind of long. And to get through it, you kind of just go through the dialogue. It's not intentional, you know. I really want to listen to the game, but it is kind of long. And so they help some of that. They added more early enemy encounters, added missing loot in empty trenches outside the jagging forest, added item drop chance for Bunker 101 crates, updated best before memory to decrease the distance between the nanos and the pensai tree. That's one of the characters in the game. Remove some parts of out of date and best before's dialogue to improve pacing. Remove multiple dialogue fragments to shorten tutorial area length. Remove some parts of Goop and Gizmo's dialogue to improve pacing. Remove multiple camera presentations to improve pacing. So basically, they're just trying to make the game a lot faster in the beginning. It just takes a long time in the beginning. It also doesn't feel like you're getting the whole game. The game is kind of barren in the very beginning, but once you get past the tutorial area, the world is expansive. There's a lot to do. So that's huge for the game. Honestly, I feel like a lot of people, they have this big uprise in the very beginning, but then the tutorial area is just so long that they kind of plateau on their enjoyment for a second. And so by the time they actually get to the outside area with the world, you're kind of left in this little not feeling too hot about the game mode. But once you get in the game, it's a lot easier to pick it back up. They also fixed some of the dialogue and narrator issues. Dialogue and the narration, it is really great, but it can get annoying. So they're doing some stuff to help it. There is gibberish between the characters as well. So if you haven't played it, there are plenty of sliders in the settings, and it seems that they made it more user-friendly so you can tailor it to however you want it. They reduced the amount of gibberish spoken before the narrator starts translating. Added dialogue setting toggles for gibberish and narrators, allowing players to select if they want to hear the narrator, the gibberish, or both when talking to NPCs. Fixed narration and gibberish playing silently and producing an awkward pause when each corresponding volume setting is set to 0. So if you do lower those settings before, you would just have this little pause, and then you would hear the dialogue or be able to read it, depending if you had one of them off. So that's really nice. That should improve the game, like speed-wise. Sometimes you're just sitting there clicking. If you're on a controller, you're just like, come on, I just want to get through it. So that's huge. They also added an extreme difficulty setting, which is also nice because hard mode, it's not exactly hard. In the beginning of the game, it's a little hard because you don't have any gear yet. But once you get gear and stuff, you're kind of steamrolling. So that's really nice that they added that. Also, in New Game Plus, they've opened up all the class perks. So if you wanted to play with the Deadeye perks, but you wanted really bad to have those really nice dodge skills from the Sentinel, in New Game Plus, you should be able to make whatever kind of character you want, which is awesome. Deadeye was feeling pretty strong. Honestly, I've been playing with all the characters, and my Deadeye run, once I kind of got the Deadeye perks that make him super strong, I kind of didn't want to play him because I just felt like I was steamrolling everything. And for me as a player, that wasn't the most fun. But I really do enjoy all the other characters, so that's really good. Settings. They added motion blurred slider so you can finally turn it off or up. Fixed so the camera setting auto adjusts. Players also apply for combat. If turned off, the camera will no longer try to frame enemies while in combat. So basically, sometimes the camera will just pan over the NPC and you're trying to fight, but it kind of makes it a little awkward, especially when you're trying to target stuff. So that's awesome. Fixed depth of field toggle as well, not being applied in dialogues. So sometimes it'd be like zoomed in, or it might be like far out. That's nice. That's really good to hear. They're really polishing the game, it seems like. Items and loot. Increased chance that the items found have a level requirement closer to the player's actual level when found. Players will still be able to find items with higher level requirements, but player level is now taken into account. That's really nice too. When you're going through the world and you're opening all these crates, a lot of time you're gonna get a armor piece that's like level 30 or something, and you're level 8. It's gonna sit there forever. Honestly, I just end up selling it or I scrap it so I can make more gear. So that's cool. They remove common item loot drops from high-level crates, reduce the amount of healing items that the player will find from crates and defeated enemies. Excuse me. That's nice because honestly, you did get a lot of healing items at the beginning. So huge kudos for them. It was kind of getting annoying to get the same medicine pills and wraps all the time in health packs. They also increase base damage from melee bodies, handles, and add-ons by approximately 5%. So they're buffing weapons and weapon loot. That's nice. I'm assuming this will definitely making the melee gameplay a lot stronger because honestly, guns were a little too OP. And then this should make you be able to craft better items compared to some of the items that you do find. There are some awesome items you will find in this game, but sometimes crafting might seem kind of obsolete at times when you don't have parts that will benefit in any way to kind of outshine those. But hopefully this will help. Reduce base damage from ranged bodies, muzzles, grips, and by approximately 5%. So they're nerfing ranged items. Thank you. Honestly, they are they're kind of a little strong with the range, and it should help you want to play those high encounter melee combats a little more instead of just standing in the back shooting. So if you really like the range, sorry, you're getting nerfed. If you really like the melee combat, you're in luck. And I like them both, and I do think they needed to be balanced, and hopefully that helps a ton. They fixed the resistance stat not being applied for crafted gear when adding add-ons. So sometimes you add that's hard to say. You'd add an add-on onto your gear, and all of a sudden your resistance stat could kind of get messed up. It wouldn't get added. You'd probably like unequip it and equip it because you're like, hey, I'm at 30% radiation, but your gear gave you 8%, and it's kept you at 30%. So sometimes it was a little buggy. That's nice that they fixed that. They also reduced gear add-on resistance and critical chance bonuses. This also ensured that the quest. Oh, and they also ensured that the quest reward diver's helmet will no longer drop as random loot. I don't think I've found that item yet, so that's cool. That's cool to know. Critical chance bonuses, they can be pretty high. Sometimes I'm like, do I really want to go that far into luck because I want the loot chance, but it also gives crit bonus. So maybe that makes some people feel better. Now you can't just steamroll your crit. They also remove slots from all protective suits. So the protective suits give you a ton of radiation, and they give you a lot of resistances, I should say. And so sometimes they can be a little OP, put on one piece, and bam, you have 100% resistance if you had a bunch of add-ons. So that's cool. Just some more balancing, polishing up the game, making it more viable to use other items. Sound, they updated melee sound effects across the board, updated mount sound effect volumes, added sound effects for triboard, trebuchet. Honestly, I didn't even know there was a trebuchet, so that's cool. Updated sounds when the player lands inside HQ after being launched from the catapult. That probably makes sense because I don't think I've done that just yet. I've been exploring the world a little more. I'm excited to find that out now, though. As melee sound goes, a lot of people, especially in consoles, seem to be having a problem with the melee. It just doesn't sound good, doesn't feel good. In some cases, it does kind of feel muted. So that is really nice that they upped that. Hopefully it feels more satisfying to get a pretty good combo in. They also updated the mount sound effects too. So riding is probably going to sound a lot better. It is kind of muted. Combat. Fixed issues with abnormally high damage output due to consumable top mod applying meta damage multiple times during equip and unequip. So it sounds like you could have added a bunch of top mods over and over, probably upping your damage. There's probably a bug. They just fixed that. Fixed the ability damage not being able to inflict critical hits. That's good to know. Reduce Deadeye Sharpshooter perk damage multiplier from 2.0 to 1.25 to ensure that is comparable to other perks. Thank you. The Deadeye was feeling really strong with the Sharpshooter perk. I kind of mentioned it a moment ago. Honestly, that perk alone made the Deadeye the best class in the game. But now they're probably still going to be super good and probably one of the best classes in the game. But that should help even out and give you a reason to choose the other classes. Disabled end of combat slow motion camera for short combat scenarios. That's really nice. A lot of times I'm just running through the world. I kill like a rat or something, and there's like this slow motion thing that takes like 5 seconds. So gets you back into exploring faster. Adjusted valid angles for combat targets to reduce camera movement in combat. Disabled camera look at when striking characters up in the air. Sometimes you'd whack them up and the camera just pans on them. You're kind of stuck targeting them, even if you didn't want to target them. Fixed a few cases where airstriking would not complete in its last hit. I think this might be referring to, for example, if you're using the clonk fist and you're like fighting, a lot of times you go for that ground pound and it just doesn't connect. So that happens a lot. Same with two-handed weapons. You go down for it, never finishes, never connects. So that's cool. That's good to know. Should make combat a little more smoother and faster. Adjusted speed of some enemy grabs. It is now a bit easier to dodge them in time. That's really nice as well. Sometimes you dodge and you feel like you're far away, but they still end up scooping you up and then whacking you across the place. So that's good. Should make that a little easier. I probably won't be using as many health packs because that's usually what gets me, is them grabbing me. So thank goodness for that. Fixed kick attack from smaller enemies being too difficult to parry. Parry window is now more consistent and enemies can be staggered out of it. That's really nice. A lot of the times you'll have an NPC where they have a weapon, like a gun or something, and you're beating them up and all of a sudden they like kick you because you're so close, but you can't parry it. Even if you see it coming, you can't parry it. So that's nice. All Tribe Sifus and Lupa Lupin in the final encounter now react stronger to being parried, allowing players to parry and then counterattack. I hope this also applies to the Mirage moments when you fight some of the Shifus. Shifu, Sifu, however you want to pronounce it. In Chinese, it's pronounced Shifu. So, but honestly, there's a couple of them when I'm doing those Mirage fights, it's impossible to fight them. Like I can't parry them. It doesn't do anything. They don't get stunned at all. So they blow me away in 3 hits. So hopefully it'll help the Mirage fights, even though it's pointless to win them or not. Your pride's on the line when you're fighting those guys. Fixed issues with tracking on Jagni staff attacks. First 3 hits will no longer overshoot targets and dodge attack is more reliable. So they're working on that Jagni staff. Fixed sometimes spawning double death particle effect on defeated enemies. That just seems to be a graphical issue. Fixed issue with Pichu Nanchuk not stopping its animation. Fixed larger enemies with melee weapons animating too quickly at slow walking speeds. Oh yeah, sometimes you will see the guys. They do look like they're just kind of coming at you real slow, but all of a sudden they're swinging really fast. So that's nice. Adjusted hit reaction from Morks to make melee more viable and satisfying to use. That's nice. The Morks are the Biomutant monsters that give you bio points. They're those green guys. So hopefully it's easier to fight them. Feels better to fight them. Fixed issue with dodge shooting while reloading, not moving the character correctly. Fixed issue with airstrike sometimes being canceled. Adjusted the range for melee attacks to improve enemy tracking and reduce misses. Fixed issue where melee gap closer would sometimes overshoot. Adjusted animations for unarmed and glove attacks to be faster. That's really nice. I like the unarmed combat, and sometimes it can feel weird. Like, sometimes it's really fast, but then sometimes it's really slow. So that's pretty nice. Fixed issue where the player would sometimes become stuck underneath larger enemies after being knocked to the ground. I had that happen to me once. I got stuck under a mini boss's foot, and then all of a sudden he stopped me again, and bam, I was dead. Added ability to slide underneath legs of titans. Fixed issue where the player would sometimes get stuck inside an enemy after a vault or leg slide. Oh, sorry, I just read that. Fixed issue where the player would sometimes get stuck inside an enemy after airstrike. Adjusted sound and rumble effect for a successful parry to improve feedback. Fixed issue where airstrike would cause enemies to be launched very far. And then improved aiming for Jumbo Puff when throwing rocks. They're making a ton of changes to combat. Really looking forward to playing it. Hopefully the game seems a lot more smooth when you're fighting. There are a lot of times where combat feels amazing, and then there's other times where combat just kind of feels like it's a little janky. So that's pretty nice. Quests and achievements. Fixed game progress not being able to reach 100% due to unavailable quest states within a single playthrough. Thank you. I'm just going to say thank you. I'm not going to spoil anything for anyone. Fixed back to the roots quest sometimes not being completed. Adjusts tribe war flow to be more robust. That's pretty nice. A lot of times when you make a character and you go through the tribe war, it kind of can seem a little slow. So hopefully it feels a lot more, we could say like epic fight or just longer. I don't know. I wish it was a little longer. So hopefully that's the case. Fix the old world gadgets trophy correctly, unlocking after finding old world gadgets. Not going to say anything about that. That could be a spoiler for some people. Crash fixes. Fix crashes when moving objects between areas using telekinesis. Haven't had that happen to me, thank goodness. But if that is happening to you, it should be working now. User interfaces. New weapon Wong Fu is now only unlocked when the player has crafted a new weapon instead of being unlocked when looting an individual component. So that's pretty nice too, because a lot of the time in the top corner, you'll see new Wong Fu stat when you pick up a weapon you've never had before. And you have to go in there, you have to look at it, and it'll go away finally. Honestly, it's kind of annoying to do, so it shouldn't happen that soon. It should come up only when you craft a weapon now, which is nice. Added correct fast travel locked message when attempting to fast travel while climbing a ladder or falling. Added mercenary DLC indicator to the main menu. So if you're one of those people who didn't get the mercenary DLC, even though you pre-ordered the game, or if you've already purchased it or whatever means you're getting it from, there should be a way in the main menu to unlock it now, so you should be able to play it. That should help those people on the PlayStation, I believe, didn't get a lot of it, and some of the people on the Xbox didn't get their mercenary. Even people on PC didn't get it. So good for you guys. You guys can finally now play the mercenary. Added dark backdrop to QTE prompts to improve readability on lighter backgrounds. Moved comic book effects to ensure that the counter QTE prompt is visible. Reversed hypoxia warning percent value to be consistent with other zones. The hypoxia one goes up while every other resistance goes down. So should be consistent now. Added fading to enemy and friendly markers at 30 meters distance to reduce HUD clutter. Sorry, that was a lot. World. Remove several area objectives from Suburbia as they are tied to the Moog quest and could cause confusion. There are a lot of area objectives there. There's like probably 5 that I can think of. So that's nice. Also, Moog is my favorite character. Just saying. Replaced a couple of NPC tasks that didn't work as intended. Added missing no rain volume to the sewer entrance at oil fields to prevent indoor rain effect. Subnautica station is now fully covered by the correct post-process volume. Improved lock for indoor puddles. Fixed issues where the player was able to fall through the world in the Myriad Fortress. If that happened to you, I'm sorry. Fixed issue where the player was able to fall through the world in the Ankadi outpost. Man, if you're playing Light Aura, you guys might be falling through the world. Fixed issue where big oil planes were possible to walk on. Fixed oil field monsters presentation camera being triggered underground. Fixed area objectives for Gutway 6G counting incorrect amount of superb loot. I went to that area. I looked for that superb loot. for probably 30 minutes and could never find it, and I gave up. I try to get absolutely everything when I go to an area, and that area definitely got me. So that's pretty nice. I'm hoping that will translate into my games after I update. Miscellaneous. Disabled fast travel when jumping from water. This was a fun bug. It was really helpful. Sometimes you'd be swimming and you would run out of energy, and right before you were going to drown, you could jump up, hit the start menu, go to map, and fast travel to save yourself. Can't do that anymore. That's good though. That was a bug. Fixed issue where the unspeakable hand Wung Fu could cause NPCs to fall through water surface instead of drowning. That's probably my favorite Wung Fu. I'm just saying, unspeakable hand is fun. Fixed issue with rocket NPC being stuck in an air after explosion. Nice. Fixed issue with rocket NPC explosion particles effects popping when being removed. Adjusted free fall duration needed for mounts to trigger hard landing. Oh, nice. Okay, cool. So the mounts are invincible in this game, and sometimes you jump over a little rock and all of a sudden they fall over and you kind of fall off of it. Hopefully now they're triggering less at a much higher distance so that doesn't happen. And then fixed attribute check labels in puzzles incorrectly being displayed as loot chance instead of intellect. Fixed infinite jump while using photo mode. Oh, I had no idea you could do that, but that sounds awesome. Fixed fireflies not spamming narration when caught. I think the birds do that as well, so hopefully they patch that. Every time I'm playing anyways, I catch a bird. Maybe that is the firelight. I don't know. But it doesn't do anything. It just says interact, I catch it, and nothing happens. So hopefully they fix that one too if that is a separate one. Fix child memories being auto-completed when opening photo mode. Fix some door openings after using photo mode. Fix smoke from burning villages, sometimes being rendered as stripes on AMD GPUs. Fixed or adjusted default camera pitch up a bit so it's not positioned directly behind the player. And fixed resistance being reset after modifying appearance. Thank you. That one definitely bugged me a lot in my playthroughs. I would change clothes and all of a sudden my resistance would be back to 0. And I would have already put in maybe like 30 bio points into a resistance, and just to see it wiped away was kind of frustrating. Hopefully that gets patched in my playthroughs already. If not, it's whatever. I can go get more bio points. There's plenty around the game. So that's awesome. Thank you guys over at THQNordic and the team working on Biomutant. You guys are great. You guys are listening. You guys are doing a lot. If you guys want to send them stuff, go tweet them on Twitter, THQNordic, and at Biomutant. And then, these guys listen. It's a great game, and it sounds like they're taking everything everyone has had a gripe with. They're trying to work on it. Hopefully they have more coming in store. Hopefully this game can see the light of day with a lot of the bugs that it does have. Hopefully they can get rid of it all. But yeah, if you guys like this video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, hit the little bell icon if you want. Whatever anyone says, I don't know. I'm new to YouTube, so this is fun. And if you guys want to see me live stream, I do live stream Biomutant every once in a while. I just started not too long ago. On the weekends, my wife also is playing It Takes Two with us currently. And then I plan on streaming tomorrow at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're going to be playing Forager. I'm going to start a new series, just showcasing some new games or old games or just hidden gem. If you guys have a game you want to see me play, let me know. I would love to see that game see the light of day. There's not a game for everyone. There's a game for everyone. Not everyone likes every game, though. So hopefully that is something for everyone to enjoy. And of course, catch us in our other social media. Links will be down in the description. Until Domani, bye.